Alright, today in section 3.1 we're going to talk about how to graph the equation of a line using the equation 2x plus 3y equals 12. We need to find 3 points in order to graph this line accurately. We're going to start by finding the x-intercept, which we find by setting y equal to 0. So we're going to have 2x plus 3 times 0 equals 12. This 3 times 0 term will drop out because anything times 0 is 0. So we're left with 2x equals 12. If we divide both sides by 2, we have x equals 6. Therefore, the x-intercept is at the point 6, 0. And one of the points on our graph is right there, at the point 6, 0. Okay? Now the next thing we should find is the y-intercept. Okay. So we're going to do the opposite of what we did this time. We're going to set x equal to 0. So we'll have 2 times 0 plus 3y equals 12. And again, this term is the one that will drop out, and we're going to be left with 3y equals 12. If we divide both sides by 3, we have y equals 4. Therefore, the y-intercept for this graph is at 0, 4. Now, I want to take this time to point out what many students, including myself, have to stop and think about from time to time. In order to find the x-intercept, y is equal to 0. In order to find the y-intercept, x is equal to 0. So if you think about when you graph this on a graph, this point right here, that is your x-intercept, and at that point, that's where the graph will cross the x-axis. At that point, y equals 0. The reverse is true for this point here. At that point there, that is where the graph will cross the y-axis, and at that point, x is equal to 0, because it's sitting right along the vertical axis. Okay? So hopefully that's clear. Now, the last thing that you should do whenever you're graphing any graph, you should always have at least 3 points, just to make sure you haven't made any errors in your mathematical calculations. So last, we're going to find an arbitrary point somewhere along that line. We find that by choosing any value for x or for y. It does not matter, and then we'll solve for the other value. Now, I'm going to use y equal to 2. Now, I'm picking that one because I know it will make a nice pretty answer for me at the end, but really you could plug any number in for either x or for y and then solve for the other variable. So again, I'm going to set y equal to 2 and plug that in for y in my equation. So I will have 2x plus 3 times 2 equals 12. So I have 2x plus 6 equals 12. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So I would have 2x equals 6. Okay. If I divide both sides by 2, my x is going to be equal to 3. Therefore, my third point on my graph will be the point 3, 2. Okay. If I find that on my graph, it will be right here. So it looks like those all fall into a nice straight line. So if I were to draw the line for this graph, it would start up and head down like that. Hopefully this is clear. Please let me know if you have any questions.